Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just going to give folks a couple of minutes to hop on. Please go ahead and like this video and share it with your friends and family. We're going to be discussing and sharing with the community the news around Dante Wright, who was murdered by a Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police yesterday. And also talking about um, our analysis around it and then our action steps for community and actions that we hope that you all will join us in as we continue the fight for freedom and liberation for Black people, not just here in Madison or in Minnesota, but all over the country and all over the world. And so, yeah, please go ahead and like and share, and we'll get started in a couple seconds here.
All right. Thank you, everyone who has joined us. I think I'm just going to get us started now. But please continue to share the live, share our video, tag people in our video. So we wanted to hop on today because as many folks probably know by now, this weekend on April 12th, the police in Brooklyn Center in Minnesota had murdered Dante Wright during a routine traffic stop. Dante was just 20 years old and just a few minutes away from many, many terrible things that has happened over the summer with the murder of George Floyd, right? And right now with the case happening too, with the murder trial for George Floyd happening and Derek Chauvin is being, on trial for that. And yet we see this murder happening during this week of the trial as it's closing out. And we know that is only because, again, our state, our court system, our police department does not care, nor does it bother to protect Black and brown people. It is working exactly like how it was designed to do, right? Which is to uphold white supremacy and protect white people, white men, and capital and property. And we know that regardless of what the police says, regardless of the body cameras, regardless of all of that, that they're the only justice that we are able to receive and get is if we take it into our own hands. We know that, we actually need to defund the police. We actually need to abolish the police. We need to abolish the prisons because, again, we know that, as we've seen, if you're Black in this country and you get stopped at the stoplight, right, or routine traffic stop, whatever excuse it is, you may not survive. And we know, again, that if you were getting taken to court, that even with your own murder trial, only in the United States would it seem like you are actually put on trial for your own death, right? So again, with that, we are demanding, again, a defund to the police. This, again, is why we do not trust the state. We do not trust the policing system. We do not trust the court system. And we cannot measure reforms with increased trainings and body cameras. That will not stop the police from killing Black people. And we must actually defund them and make true real investments in Black communities and actually have community control, right? We actually need to have control over implementation around transformative justice, because again, we cannot trust the state to also give us those things. um, so with that, we are asking people to stay tuned with Freedom Inc. Really to follow our social media. We are going to put out a statement later this evening, along with some action steps that we actually need the community to step in and support us during this time and this week, right? Because it is not enough for us just to read an article and put it and share it, right? It is not enough for us just to continue saying people's name. We actually need to be fighting, right? We actually need to take these steps to actually see real change in our communities. And again, we know that the police in the state is not going to give us that. So Monica, can you share some of the events that people can expect to join us for this week?
Yeah, and I mean, before I go into that, Zhong, I just want to thank you for doing that grounding and sharing some like key highlights around how we're looking at this, and what our demands are. And again, um, what measured reform is not going to save us. Having more body cameras or more trainings are not going to save us. We actually need to defund the institution that is killing us. We've seen from the press conference how these people do not value our lives, and we see it over and over again. How many more mornings do we have to wake up to this news? And I do just want to check in with our Black folks here in Madison and with the people who follow us, with our members, and say, you know, we don't deserve this. We don't deserve to wake up to see our young people slain, spontaneously executed by police in the street publicly, for things like having, um, having an air freshener hanging on your rearview mirror, things that other folks get to walk free from, get to live and don't even notice. We don't deserve that. We deserve so much more. So I will invite us as we get geared up, to move past points of mobilization and move into organizing for lasting systems change, to really take this moment to check in with each other and with our families, um, to really take care of ourselves and check in with ourselves too around what we need to get through this. And just a message. I know that Madison is a majority white city. I don't want to see one white person at our actions who is not willing to follow through and organize. There's so many things that y'all need to be organizing to dismantle. I don't want to see another person at our actions that's not willing to do that. That's just coming to an action just to be at an action, just to kick it with us and then go back to your normal life, because this is our real life. And it's not for play. It's not for fun. And so, please, I urge folks who are allies and co-conspirators, if you're coming out, like to take these action steps and to take these organizing steps that we're going to share, so that we make sure that this doesn't happen again. And also, for our Southeast Asian and Asian, siblings in this struggle. Let this be a rallying cry and a call to action for you as well. Don't let this moment pass when we are in the midst of talking about stopping anti-Asian hate, when we all know that the root of that is white supremacy and anti-Blackness. So please also let this be a rallying cry to you and your communities as well. And don't leave us out there alone, right? Like we need to stand against this together. And so, yeah, I'm going to go into some of the things that we have lined up, that's really oriented towards organizing in the like ending this for good, right? We don't need for this to happen again in Madison for us to say we need to defund the police. That needs to happen now. We have the opportunity to do that now. And so I'm going to invite everyone, on Saturday, May 1st, we will be doing a defund action, to get justice for Dante Wright, but also for all of the Black people slain by the police here, and across the country and across the world. Like I said, the police, the military, all of that, right? And leading up to that, we will have two community meetings, community organizing meetings, where we can get together and actually talk about next steps around what does our current budget look like and what would a people's budget look like. So please come through on Monday, April 19th, and then Monday, April 26th from 5 to 7. Those will be held at Freedom Inc.'s offices, 2110 Luann Lane. They will be outdoor, and there will be light refreshments and dinner to go provided as well. Um, Leading up to those meetings, we're going to be hitting the doors, doing pop-ups and texting folks to remind them about these meetings, and just engaging in case folks can't make it, engaging in what is your vision for Black life? What does your freedom vision look like? And how are we going to move towards that in Madison? How can you get connected with the work that we're doing, and the work that other Black-led organizations are doing in Madison to really see that come true? Because defunding the police is possible. Community control is possible within our lifetime. We just need to do the work to get there. And so on Tuesdays, Freedom Action Now will be hosting text banks, which you'll be able to sign up for. Like Jean said earlier, all of our events and activities will be posted online later tonight. We'll be doing text banking on Tuesdays from 12 to 4. So please join us for that, where we'll be talking specifically about defunding the police. On Thursdays, Wednesdays, you'll be able to join us here virtually for some political education sessions around defunding the police and what it means to build that alternative world that we're all dreaming about, right? That we see actually in place in other communities, right? That Black people are not afforded in this country. What does that mean to make that happen for us? So you can join us for Freedom Wednesdays. And those times will be in the evenings as well. And we'll post them again. We'll post event pages on our Facebook page and our social media. On Thursdays, you'll be able to door knock with us from 3 to 7 p.m. This week, on the 15th, we'll be starting in the Coho neighborhood. So just stop by the office, 2110 Luann Lane, Freedom Inc.'s office, to launch where we'll launch the canvas from. And you will have we'll have water bottles for you and light snacks for you to walk around with. And we'll also do a brief canvas training. So we won't have you out there, what am I supposed to say? We got you. And then we'll also be doing mutual aid pop-ups on Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. The location for this week is at the office. So the 16th, it's going to be at 2110 Luann Lane. And then we'll announce weekly locations as we move on. And like I said, we're going to have a mass mobilization and action on Saturday, May the 1st. We are doing a call out for community partners who want to throw down around that. We know that we are not the only one in Madison who know how to organize or who know how to do a protest, right? We know that together we're stronger and together we're a force to be reckoned with. So if you want to throw down around planning that action or playing a role in that action, please contact us in our info at Freedom Inc. freedominc.org email, or hit us up on Facebook if you're an organization or group of organizers who's looking to throw down around that action. So yeah, and then of course for digital actions that you can take at any time, you can always sign the defund MPD petition that we started last year that has over 5,000 signatures right now. We can keep running that up and increasing the number for that.
Thank you, Manka. And yes, again, everyone, please make sure that you like our Facebook page. We will be posting up our statement tonight along with all of our events. If you would like to just sign up right now, we did drop down a link around our volunteer form as well as our email. So make sure you reach out to us. And I just want to reiterate quickly what Manka said. Especially in the last 2 weeks with all the anti-Asian hate, right? And what we've saw in Atlanta is that actually we see clearly that, right, we actually have to be addressing white supremacy. We actually have to be addressing the states, right? Because what allowed for those Asian women to lay in their shops, right? And not have the perpetrator, not have Robert be arrested until 3 hours later and arrested unharmed, right? Is the same system, right, that basically allowed the killing of Dante, right? That we saw this past weekend. And so we actually must actually really have to take action together in addressing this, right? Because we absolutely cannot address white supremacy in this state without really tackling anti-black racism. So we also just dropped a petition for defunding the police. Make sure you sign that. That is something that you can do right now at this time and moment. So thank you all for joining us tonight for that quick update. Yeah, and make sure that you sign the petition and follow our Facebook to stay up to date with the rest of our events for this week. Thank you all.
Love and power.